Hello YouTube, Chrome Freak here. Okay, what you're looking at is the bolt and bolt carrier for the Cetme battle rifle. I've had some requests to do it, most notably from NSHOW NS House. And before I even get started, there's another guy out there that has done this video right here, but for some reason the audio does not match the video, whoever edited it for him. But this guy probably has forgotten more about the Cetme rifle than I'll ever know. And he goes by the name of PTRTHGR and the number 8. And there's another guy, L1A1. You might want to check out their videos. I actually just found them for the first time tonight. I was told about them, but I never watched them until tonight. And I did watch his video, and he pretty much does exactly what I'm going to do right here. And he does it pretty much the exact way I do it. He did come up with a neat trick with tape here, and I'll show you what he did. And let's get started here because we don't have a lot of time. Okay, now the bolt gap that they speak about with the Cetme rifle, you want to get you some feeler gauges. Right here is the way it's got to be. When you first take apart, disassemble, field strip your Cetme, it's going to come out like this with this big old gap right here. But when it is in place, ready to fire, the bolt carrier, everything is up in the trunnion. It's actually locked shut like that with the rollers out in the trunnion. These rollers are hard up against the trunnion, creating what is right here, which is a very small gap. Now, mine is gapped on this one. This is actually from my parts kit at about 0.013. The other one's about 0.15. They can go anywhere from 0.003 to 0.020. Anything tighter is too tight, and anything looser, you're gonna have other issues. So you gotta have, it ain't a whole lot of a gap, but it is a gap between the bolt and the bolt carrier. And you really need to get you a set of feeler gauges and make sure that's right. That's how you measure the space on this. It's very important. Now, what Century was being accused of, let's go ahead and take it down and I'll show you. To take this apart right here, you want to push it in just like I did right there and lock it. Then you're simply going to turn it and pull it off. So you're actually going to turn it almost to where the top, which would be this direction, is now facing up backward this way. And we'll completely disassemble the bolt here in a minute. Then you turn the lug, pull it out. Out with it comes the firing pin and a spring. Set them over here. I actually call this the locking lug. I could be completely wrong on the name. Don't know, but that's what I call it. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and this spring right here, we're gonna pull that out in a minute. But right now we're going to concentrate on the bolt head. Now I actually did take this apart earlier to make sure everything was okay, and everything is not okay, to be honest with you. I broke the roller pin in here. When I first got this rifle a few years back, I had taken on the rifle that's actually put together, like I said, this is the parts kit one. I had taken this roller pin out to get the rollers out, and that pin broke. I ordered a couple, and I used one, and I can't find the other. And unfortunately, I broke this one earlier putting it in. It is in holding right now, but I would never put this in a rifle to shoot. So I got to order some more. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to completely disassemble this this bolt. The first thing we want to do is right here, this cotter pin. You want to take, and by the way, this tool comes in so handy right here. You want something sharp and pointy. You're going to reach in there, and you're going to kind of, it's got to be spun 180 degrees, like that, just like that. And then you're going to pick it up a little bit and pull it out. I'm probably going to need a screwdriver for this because it's kind of a little bit in the wrong direction. But you got to spin it up where it's standing up like that, it was standing up 180 degrees. Well, once you get it by the lip, it'll just pull right on out. Once you pull that cotter pin out, your extractor will pop right out. Here's your extractor. See, things are dirty too on this. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take these rollers out. We'll get the rollers out, and then I'll explain to you what I'm talking about with the back of the bolt and how the rollers fit into that trunnion. So I actually broke my pin earlier too, by the way, my punch. It's the smallest punch I got. I think it's a 1/16 of an inch. Let's see if this other one will fit. I don't think it will. No, it's too big. I'm going to have to use the broken one here, and hopefully I'm not going to have any problem getting this out. I'm hoping. Please, come on out. Oh, real quick. I did find out from that other gentleman, the PTRTHGR number 8 guy, he put a piece of tape, which is a great idea. across the back of the bolt, because sometimes when you knock that roll pin out, it'll shoot out the back of the bolt and you'll be on your hands and knees looking for it. I thought that was a pretty good idea because I always stick my finger back here. But that was a great idea he had. So before I knock it all the way through, make sure I got that tape there. Okay, it's through. And there it is. See how it's stuck to the tape? That's perfect. And you can see the roller pin is actually broke. It's broke in half. See it? Not sure if you can. Hope you are. Let's set this off to the side right now. It's sticky. Please get off my finger. Okay, now we've got to get the rollers out. Now to do that, once you have the roll pin all the way completely out of the way, you're going to take this screwdriver and there's a plate in there. You're just going to push it. Push it right out the side. See how it's coming right on out? And there's one roller out. And there's two. Okay. There's a little plate right here. It's your keeper plate. It's got a hole down in the middle that the roll pin drives through. I'm hoping you could see that. And on one side it's got some indentations. On the other side it's got two nipples sticking out. Those nipples is what fits down in the top. One side of these rollers is flat and one side of them has got an indent, and that actually fits in there and holds that. Now what's going on, what Century Arms was accused of doing, that gap being so important back here, they were taking and they were grinding the back of the bolt, which does absolutely nothing. It does absolutely no good to fix anything. Sure, it was achieving their gap, but it really wasn't. It was just slight eye. It looked like the gap was there, but it's really not, because all they did was grind a bolt down. To fix that, what you need to do is get oversized rollers. You want to get some rollers that are a little bit bigger than these rollers right here and install them in there. And that will give you, when it's locked up in the trunnion, and these rollers are hard against the trunnion, it'll pull this out. It'll give it a little bit more, it'll gap it right where it needs to be, is what I'm trying to say. So to remedy the situation, don't grind the back of the bolt. Just get bigger rollers. That's the situation. There's a lot of places you get on the internet and get into the Cetme rifle for parts, for bigger rollers, for roll pins, which I'm going to have to buy. For everything you see here, you can buy parts for. So now the bolt head's completely down. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this locking lever out. To do that, there's a pin right here, and you can drive it down through and it'll come out this side right here. So let's do that. I'm probably going to need a bigger hammer for that, because sometimes it could take a little bit to knock that out. It's coming out. Let me just bear with me for a second, guys. Okay, there's the pin. The pin's out. That's out. Now it's not under a lot of pressure where this is going to come shooting out. In fact, it'll fall out just like that. There you go. That'll come out, and here's your spring. And it's a 50-pound spring right there. Now guys, when you take this apart, if you've never gotten into your Cetme rifle and taken your bolt carrier down, this locking lever, and your bolt down, you really need to do that. I'm telling you, this thing is filthy on both rifles. And my other, on the rifle itself, not the parts kit one, but on the Cetme rifle itself, when I go shooting, man, I'm a fanatic. I always take everything down. I don't think you need to do that all the time. But probably every 1,000 rounds or so, I would, because I'm going to tell you what, even if I shoot 100 rounds through here, this is filthy. The whole bolt, everything in there gets filthy really quickly and really easily. So let's go ahead and put this back together. Spring simply just fits back in there. Put the locking lever in. Obviously the lip that's going to lock your bolt needs to face that direction toward the front of the bolt carrier. Now, you could put this pin in. There's my time already at 9 minutes. I was told we have 15. I'm still going to try to hurry because I know it'd be a boring video. But it doesn't matter which direction you knock this in. You can go this way or you can go back through that direction. Let me use the bigger one here. Get that down in where it's got to go. Okay, that's back in now. So that's in. And now we're going to work and we're going to put this bolt together. My worry is getting that roll pin back in being split in two. Now, like I said, I would never put that back in a rifle like that, but I am going to put it together for this video. Okay, so what we got to do is you'll see the little slot in here on the bottom. Well, the top, what you're going to put flat on the bottom there is obviously the indented side. The nipple side, you want to go ahead and put one roller on, and we're going to start it is what I'm going to do. Hope you could see it. Just kind of got to put it in there. at the same time. And here I am doing it backward, and it's going to be hard to do. And you push it in just enough to get that other roller started. Just like that. Now here's a little trick, and I found this out on my own, and I noticed that the other gentleman does that too. The PTRTHGR8 guy does it. You take your lock and lug, and you stick it in, and what it's going to do is it's going to center not only your rollers up, but it's also going to center your plate up right where it needs to be to knock your roll pin in. And we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to knock the roll pin in. I got to get it off this tape first. Get this tape off of me. Now, hopefully this thing will stay together enough to where I can get it in there and put back together again. And I'm still kind of hurry here. Oh, come on guys, please. Every time I'm on video, everything takes longer, man. It's just never ceases to amaze me. Okay, make sure this is, take your fingers, press it, make sure that's all the way in, and just go ahead and knock that in all the way. Make sure it's flat. If not, you're going to have to take your little punch and knock it in a little bit more, just to make sure it's flat. And that's pretty dang good right there. And this does its job. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this back together. You put your spring on your firing pin, like so. Yes, locking lug goes just like this. You're going to stick it in. Actually, we've got to put the extractor on. My bad, guys. Okay, extractor's pretty self-explanatory. The claws obviously point toward the front of the bolt and down. This slides right in. You got to go in like on an angle with this, where it's standing up. Then you get it in there and you flip it. And that's where my little needle comes in handy. Flip it all the way around so it's tight, and I don't have it all the way in. There it is. It's in place. You ain't got to beat it a lot, just enough to clear the lip and go down into the groove it's made for. Let's go ahead and bring this back in. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the locking lug in first. Locking lug is going to fit in just like that. You got a little window on this side, a little window on that side. You'll see that lug past that first window, past that second window, and stop. Okay. Now, to get the bolt back on, here's the top of the bolt. We're going to slide it to where the top's actually facing upside down right now. You're going to get it to where it goes all the way up against the bolt like this, and you're going to turn. Just like that. That was 2. You actually need 3 turns. And I need help because I got my hands. I just can't beat that 50-pound spring. 3. There it is. It's back together. Now, at this point, it's locked again. Let's check our gap. Make sure it's there, and it's there. That's a good gap right there. Perfect gap. That's 0.013. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to open this back up, and that'll be the end of the video. And to do that, I got to defeat that spring. To defeat that spring, I'm going to use these again. I'm not hurting to bolt it at all. What I'm doing is just pushing in the back of that spring to defeat it. Pops that out. Now it's ready to go back into the rifle, guys. It's as simple as that. If you guys need any help, please PM me. Get a hold of me. If you need more help than that, call me on the phone. I'll give you my number. You can call me a call. But it's a pretty easy procedure, and like I said, I wouldn't even have made this video if the other gentleman who made it, by the way, he made it perfect, except the voice does not line up with the video. So hopefully this will help some people, and I really thank that guy for having that video out there. If I had never done this, it would have helped me. You just need to take your time. So hopefully this is straightening it out with the voice matching the video. All right, everybody on YouTube, I appreciate you watching. I thank you for commenting and for subscribing. Good night.